who is carrying the word of God. We thank God for our bishop today, Bishop Fred Harris Jr. Hallelujah. Give him glory. Give God glory. Give God glory for the man of God. Hallelujah. Bless his name. Bless his holy name. Glory.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Thank you. Now I feel like it today.
Come on, Bishop. Come on, Bishop.
I really feel like it. Today.
Come on, Bishop.
Yeah.
Bless his name. Bless his name. Hallelujah.
Ain't gonna take much.
Come on, Bishop. Celebration time. 7 days. Woo, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Glory to
Yeah.
May I preface Evangelist asking me for this in my spirit today, and I told her that this is a day of encouragement for the saints of God. May I preface this sermonic assignment by saying to you that you matter. Tell that person next to you, you matter. You do matter.
You matter.
Go ahead and tell them, you matter.
You matter.
Every one of you in here, every one of you in here,
You matter.
matter. And let me tell you this, God is holding all of us responsible.
Oh my God.
I want you to get this. God is holding each one of us responsible for the impact, the empowerment, the effectiveness, and parenthetically the spiritual success of this ministry. God is holding all of us responsible. And that's why the Lord laid it on my heart to have this t-shirt made a few weeks ago, and I will be wearing it until further notice. Because it is time for us to get
moving, work. Amen.
And I need for the message to get out that every Oasian needs to get engaged. Because what we do or do not do as a church body is a reflection of the kingdom that we represent.
All right. Come on.
Each person must do his or her part.
That's right.
Otherwise, some other vital part will suffer.
That's right. That's right.
So then, ladies and gentlemen, I know your engines are already started.
My God.
And some of you are halfway down the road already. And I need for you to slow down long enough to meet me in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, and we shall begin reading at verse number 10.
All right.
Jeremiah, meet me at that very familiar theological intersection
All right.
called Jeremiah 29 and verse 10. Jeremiah 29 and verse 10. And I just need for you to hold that praise. Just need for you to hold that praise just a few more minutes. And then we all gonna go in.
All right. Woo-hoo.
Reverend Nancy and one of the Davis sisters is here, so we're gonna go in for real. Just a little bit. Let me give you a little word and then
All right.
here we go.
All right.
For thus saith the Lord, that after, 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord. Thoughts of peace, and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
Come on, Bishop.
Now, usually we end the reading there, but shall we read on? Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you.
Come on.
And ye shall seek me, and find me.
Yes.
And ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord. And listen, I will turn away your captivity.
Yes.
And I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord. And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away.
Yes. My God. My God.
Bless your heart, you may be seated in the presence of the Lord. As you're being seated, I want you to think with me from this topic. There is a divine plan.
All right.
There is a divine plan. When you tell your neighbor there is a divine plan.
Amen.
Thank God for the rendering, the reading, and the revelation of this word preserved and presented to us from God's servant, Jeremiah. You know Jeremiah. It means, Jeremiah's name means Yah, or God exalts. He was the second major prophet of the Hebrew Bible. He was author of this book which bears his name, along with 1st and 2nd Kings, as well as the book of Lamentations. The book Lamentations, which mourns the destruction of Jerusalem and the holy city during the 6th century BC.
All right.
It has been interpreted that Jeremiah spiritualized and individualized religion and insisted upon the importance of the individual's relationship with God. In other words, it was Jeremiah who stressed the point that everybody needed their own personal relationship with God.
That's right.
Jeremiah's job was to reveal the sins of the people and to explain the reason for the impending destruction by the Babylonian army and captivity.
All right.
Listen, please. And when your people say, why has the Lord our God done all these things to us? You shall say to them, Jeremiah, as you have forsaken me and served foreign gods in your land,
All right.
Come on.
so ye shall serve foreigners in a land that is not yours.
Well, come on now.
So then God's personal message to Jeremiah is, attack you they will, but overcome you they cannot. Now, this- attack you they can will attack. But they will never be able to overcome. Now, Jeremiah is a living witness because he was attacked by his brothers. He was beaten and put into stocks by a priest and a false prophet. He was imprisoned by a king, threatened with death, and thrown into a cistern by Judah's officials. And he was opposed publicly by a false prophet. So then Jeremiah was assigned, listen preachers, Jeremiah was assigned to minister to a remnant, small group, a group that was left of God's chosen people. Now this was once a nation envied by the world for her brilliance, her prosperity, her influence, her intelligence, her integrity, her strength, and her godliness. Now they are reduced to a fidgeting, futile, few, foreign fugitive. What an exciting assignment, right? It is no wonder he has been nicknamed the weeping prophet. And too many modern day professional religionists and church-going people feel that leadership and prophecy and ministry is all glitter and glamour.
Come on, Bishop.
Too many people think it's all festive and fun. It's celebration and ceremony. But I want want you to know this is hard and sometimes unrewarding work. And you don't have to take my word for it. You try for a week. 7 days. I'll give you the key. Let's not stray. When you're on a journey, it's good to have at your disposal concise direction. Thank God for GPS. I don't know how I survived. As long as I did without a GPS. It's good to have some unmistakable knowledge of exactly where you're going. There is no greater feeling of hopelessness and helplessness than to be out on a lonely road and suddenly become directionally challenged. There are certain times when my companion feels as if I'm lost. And of course, that is never the case. Never the case. I am merely exploring alternative routes. Because there's always more than one way to reach a particular destination. And as a motorist, I feel that I am obligated to be equipped with such knowledge and skill. Likewise, when you have, time to know what I'm talking about. Likewise, when you've been given an assignment, it's necessary and quite helpful to have been given a detailed step-by-step set of instructions as to how to best accomplish said assignment. May not always seem like it, but I'm a very, very organized, structured, systematically spirited individual. There is a definite method to my madness. You may walk into my workspace and what you see may appear to be utter chaos. But I assure you, I know exactly where everything is, and I can put my hand on whatever I need at a moment's notice. But I have discovered that everybody, no matter what profession, no matter what station in life, no matter the age group, no matter the generational identity, no matter what racial, ethnic, economic profile, everybody needs to know that they matter. Everybody needs to be encouraged. So today is a day of encouragement, especially when you feel as if society has targeted you and declared that you are destined to fail. Such is the case of Generation Z. There's some in here today. Those born beyond the year 2000. It is said that Generation Z doesn't read. They have short attention span. All of their entertainment is on a screen. They are the generation of the now. They have no patience. They are the fastest growing generation. They have an instant diet full of hormones, chemicals, and preservatives that makes them look physically older than some of us. Then there are the boomers, the X's and the Y's. They are the new silent generation, also known as Generation Z. Now we can become so distracted, frustrated, and overwhelmed by current events, social ills of the day, that we forget the word, the will, and the ways of God. As I travel and communicate with people across the country and around the world, I make it a point every time I get a chance to look at daily news. I want to see people. I want to see where they live and how they live. And really, when you think about it, we can save a whole lot of time and money by having just one global newscast, because the headlines are virtually the same, whether you're in Nairobi, Kenya, in East Africa, or Memphis, Tennessee. They're the same, whether you're in Los Angeles, California, Tampa, Florida, or Atlanta, Georgia. The social ills are the same in Florence, Italy, and Beijing, China, as in Detroit, Michigan, or East St. Louis, Illinois. All you have to do is say, stock market is down. Movie stars are having babies out of wedlock. They're adopting babies. They're getting divorces. Athletes and entertainers are tearing up the clubs, having a fool. Neighborhood crime is everywhere. There are crooked cops. There's violence. There's drugs. There's gangs. There's murder. Financial decline. Political corruption. Religious persecution and unrest. Children are out of control. Teens have gone wild. There's sickness. There's suffering. Accidents. Reckless drivers. Educational irregularities. Occupational disparities. There's racism, classism, sarcasm, cynicism, sexism, hypocrisy, deception, and lack of communication, just to name a few. So this is a day, my brothers and my sisters, and a season like none other era in recent history that I believe that the people of God need to be encouraged. Story of life, it is a continuum of questions. Questions such as when, where, why, who, why, and how. The word for us today is to chill, take a breath, relax. There is, I declare unto you, there is a divine plan. God has already worked it out. And God is saying to somebody today, I got this. Everybody everywhere needs to know and understand that this book called the Bible, it still has relevancy today. The promises of God and the plan of God are just as true today as when they were first uttered and recorded. May I submit to you also that when you obey God, you obligate Him to bless you. God cannot lie. He cannot fail, and He will not go back on His word. Obedience releases, and that's the word for this week, release. Obedience releases the favor of God. It's like the if and then principle. It's like the deductive logic principle. If the preceding statement is true, then the conclusion is also true. If my people called by my name would humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then I'll hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. Bring ye all the tithes and offerings into the storehouse. Try me, prove me, and see when I open the windows of heaven. See when I rebuke the devourer for your sake. Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You know how it is with your own children. You make them a promise based on something that you want them to do. And if and when they do it, they don't have a problem reminding you. You promise. They will never let you forget. Mama, Daddy, you promised. And that's the way it is with God. When you obey Him, you obligate Him to keep His promise. So then it is here in this text, and I'm almost through. It is here in this text that this prophet called Jeremiah, one whom God has exalted, ordained, and assigned to minister to the misery of the masses. Jeremiah uses the power of the pen and writes this very moving epistle to this suffering segment of saints. This is without doubt a letter of exalted encouragement. It is to a people who were sorely in need of a word from God. Encouragement. What is encouragement? It is from the word encourage. Dr. Daniel Webster defines this transitive verb as a means to inspire with courage, to spirit one, to provide hope, to attempt to persuade or to urge, to spur on, to stimulate. to give help or patronage, to foster, to bear up, to cheer up, to embolden, to hearten, to strengthen. And I want you to know that encouragement does not come easy. It comes from very unlikely sources. And David, David, he reminds us that there are times when we must be the source of our own encouragement. Every now and then, you've got to encourage yourself. Every now and then, you've got to pat your own self on the back. And not only is Jeremiah prophesying to those who had been banished to Babylon, Babylon, that ancient city built upon the banks of the great Euphrates, Babylon, whose hanging gardens were one of the 7 wonders of the world. Not only was he prophesying to those in Babylon, but he prophesied to a people who were born in bondage. Some had lived their entire lives in bondage. Their entire lives, they knew nothing else. Of course, they had heard the wonderful stories of their forefathers. They had heard of their prosperous and favored heritage. But bondage was all they knew. Bondage was familiar. Bondage was comfortable. They were told when to sleep and when to awaken. Told what to eat and when to eat. Told where to work, how long to work. They were told where to worship, how to worship, what and who to worship. Told who to love, who to hate, what and who to denigrate, who to vilify and defame. They were in bondage and did not even know they were in bondage. They were enslaved and did not know they were enslaved. They were underprivileged and did not know they were underprivileged. They were undervalued and did not know it. They were unappreciated and unrespected and did not know. Somebody here needs to know that prophetic ministry is not a popular ministry. Historically, whenever a prophet came on the scene and challenged the status quo, attempted to raise the consciousness of the people, there was either a revival or a revolution. And sometimes there was both. So what word is it that this prophet of God called Jeremiah can write or utter to this people who have been bound and burdened and bruised for over 70 years? Listen to the message from the Message Bible. This is God's word on the subject. As soon as Babylon's 70 years are up, and not a day before, I'll show up and take care of you just like I promised. I'll bring you back home. I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future that you hope for. When you call me, when you come and pray to me, I'll listen. When you come looking for me, you'll find me. Yes, when you get serious about finding me, and when you want it more than anything else, I'll make sure that you won't be disappointed. He goes on to say, I'll turn things around for you. I'll bring you back from the countries into which I drove you. I'll bring you home to the place from which I sent you off into exile. And furthermore, you can count on me. Somebody here needs to know, and I'm almost through. Somebody here needs to know that your bondage, your difficulty, your suffering, your illness, your discomfort, your pain, all of that has a definite expiration date. Don't you remember what Moses told the children of Israel? He said unto them, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, you will see them again no more forever. That means when God pronounces the benediction,